people who are believers, Christians, this is an idea, this is a way for them to express their talents?
Yes, of course, because human being has 7 emotions, and those 7 emotions we are put there to express themselves. When a person breaks out of the boundaries of depression, of being able, walking in unforgiveness, sadness, when he breaks out of those boundaries, then these colors begins to live in that person, because now he can express himself. He sings out of the singing of the 7 expressions. So literally, yes, YouTube, my Facebook is a place where people are supposed to express themselves. But like I said, because these ideas have been bought by the great men who have been running the media. So the men that have been running the media, they're trying to use them as ideas again to captivate the people. Do you know that most of the people that are on YouTube trying to express their talents, because most of them, not all of them, but most of them do not have a collective purpose and a collective vision. So their talents are becoming captivated, because the people who are now again owning, the businessmen who are owning the TV broadcast, they're coming back again using those ideas to look at what people use to express themselves.
You mean
to look at the
ran out
interests of the people.
They ran out of ideas, and this is a way they are using. This is a way to get new ideas from the people, from the normal people.
Exactly. Not like they ran out of the ideas, but they want to see, before a person enslaves or makes a slave, he first finds out the desires of a slave. Because now, today we are in a place where you cannot say that this is my slave, but you can enslave him spiritually through energies and frequencies. So they want to find out the desires of the people, and they're doing that. So YouTube, Facebook have become places where people express themselves. And when they express themselves, these great men or these rich men are beginning to make products that line up with the interest of the people. So the people are beginning to buy products, beginning to buy mobile phones that are designed according to their interests. TVs that are designed according to their inner interests. And then they become people who are just going around to express their talents by buying, by becoming materialistic, rather than expressing their talents for a collected vision.
What you mean to say? This is how I understand you. You mean people have needs, they go out on the internet, express what their needs are, and these people, the rich ones, try to fill the needs. And the same people go back and then try to get these products from these rich people. But initially this was their idea. This was their
idea too, because now you remember they bought Facebook, they have bought YouTube. YouTube belongs onto them, and they allow people to upload their ideas, and they go in there and they start to look to find out what are the expressions of the people, what is that they desire, what are they speaking, what is the inner language.
What would you, as a prophet, what would you, apostle, what would you tell the people out there who do not even know that they have talents? They go out and do things, but they don't even realize that they are using their godly given talents. What advice would you tell those people who are watching or listening to you right now?
Another thing I wanted to say, YouTube, Facebook, and all these other websites are also being used as a place where, for example, somebody is going to look for a job, and then they investigate his character first. Where do they go? They go on my Facebook to find out the presentation of that person, how he is in his home, or who he is, his desires. So when they find out that this person is wild, is always in wild parties and doing wild things, obnoxious and vulgar things, they don't give the person the job. In fact, when he comes on the day when he was supposed to be interviewed, they say, no, we cannot give you, we're sorry, we cannot give you the job. Why? Because they investigated his character on Facebook, and they found out that he was a wild person, and he was somebody who is acting in a vulgar way, and they don't dare to give them job because they don't want to hire somebody who will destroy the company. So this is the point, is people have got to have a collective vision, collective purpose in their life, to have a vision, because there are many dreams on the earth, but there's only one vision. And the thing is, the dream is an expression. I can dream something at night and I express it the next day out of my character or out of my talents. But the point is, when I express myself, what am I saying? Who am I attracting? So we must have a collective idea that collects our ideas and talents towards a collective vision and a collective purpose. So what people really need is to come to understanding, because we do conferences for leaders, we do conferences for everybody who has talents, to begin to bring their talents under submission of a collective idea and a collective purpose, so that they are not just people who are running around giving their ideas to others and others using them as a theme to make products or make things that we control those people to be enslaved to things, but to be people who are using their talents to achieve results, to be fruitful in their life, to be successful in their lives. Yes.
As I understand, Apostle, are you saying that using the internet and what it has to offer is also a good thing for even believers to use?
Yes, it's a good thing for believers who believe in God, but also the internet can become the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It contains information that comes from evil sources.
Yes.
So if we do not know who we are and the purpose why we are created and the purpose why we are expressing our talents, and we do not have a place where we honor God, we reverence God with our talents, then these talents will become a thing or a talent that is reverencing something else. And I tell you, the people out there in the world, in the secular world, that are trying to control the world, they are working over time to try to see to it that they make people their slaves. And most of the way they do it, they first steal the ideas,
yes,
and to understand what that person wants, and then they design things, physical things. That's why God says, you shall not have any other God apart from me. Don't worship the works of your own hands as gods. What was he saying? He was talking about market people who are selling things in the stock market, and they use them to attract people's ideas and talents, and these people begin to buy things because people identify themselves. If I have a new cellular phone, if I have a new mobile phone, if I have a new TV that has just come out, if I have a new house, but you have to see somebody who is having a cleaning job and driving the latest Lexus, and you ask yourself, how can he afford a Lexus that has just come out 2 months old, and how can he afford it when he's working a cleaning job? Then you start to see that people are trying to live to achieve their identity through material things, living out of the means, or living beyond their own means where they can capacitate. And that's really where we are. So we need to have character. We need to come into a collective vision. I know why I exist. I'd rather drive a old car that I control and I own, rather than driving a new car that owns me and controls me.
That's powerful. Apostle, you have this vision, a big one, that you are going out to the world with, reaching the world with. How are you going to use or help people who are out there who do not even know that they can maximize their talents? How can they maximize their talents?
It's by information. A person who does not like to learn new things is a dangerous person, because he's a person that lives to impress the people who make the products that he wears, the products that he eats, the products, and to become a consumer, because he's not learning anymore. So he lives on the ideas that come to him rather than living on the ideas that God put in him. So we provide a place where people can learn, willing to learn new ideas and new information, so that we may capacitate the place where they expand their ideas, they expand their talents, so that their talents may begin to have a collective vision. And that's one area. And the website itself on www.katonyeze.org, www.ngabo.org, that's a place where people can receive information. They can receive information that can make them become better people, to exercise the authority that God has given unto them, rather than giving their authority to something else or to a material thing that is sold on the stock market.
I agree. So you're saying that this is a place where anyone with any talent can come to and be still accommodated?
Yes. Yes, receive information, to be taught, to come to a place where there's a collective vision. The vision in the house of the prophets, God's courthouse, was given by God from heaven. And God said, I want to bring all talents so that they may express themselves. But the enemy is also trying to see to it that he captures those talents. So we're just doing exactly the opposite that is being done in the world, but doing the opposite. But where do we find all this information? Or where do we release this information to be accessed by other people? It's through internet. Also, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are in all these areas. Why? So that people may connect to a collective vision, rather than having a dream or a talent that is owned by itself. but having a talent that expresses itself so that the vision may be revealed.
Would you speak to someone who is probably watching, has a talent, but doesn't know where to go? Instead of running into people who will be thieves or steal his ideas from him, what kind of talents are you building? What kind of talents are you helping people to utilize? Like, I understand you have a studio. There is a studio, a music talent for those who are singers. Can they come to the house of the prophets to be published, to be recorded, to be helped?
Yes, of course, we have a record company itself. We have a recording studio where we do a lot of stuff, like recording talk shows and recording. So we are doing a lot in the area of music. We are doing a lot in many areas. But what I want to encourage everybody that is watching me, before a dream becomes a reality, the dream must become a seed so that it may accommodate the vision. If we do not allow our dream to accommodate the vision, then we become people that are living on our dream to accommodate the vision of those who are selling the products onto us. We become materialistic people. We become consumers of material things, and we find our identity in material things that we own rather than finding our identity in that God, what God has put in us. So I encourage every one of you to take a step of leadership, to take a step of being able to stand up and say, I'm choosing to make my dream become a reality by connecting it to a collective vision with a purpose. And here at the House of the Prophets, www.ngabo.org is a place where people can go. Literally, the website itself is like a school where people can go and they begin to school their talents. They begin to channel their energies. They begin to channel their frequencies into God's purpose and find out a vision that the purpose why, of course, God has created them and the purpose why their talents exist. I call it the coat of 7 colors.
Thank you, Apostle. It's been a blessing, and thank you for your answers. I think you've answered my question. I'm back to you. Thank you for watching, and this has been the show that is called Discovering Yourself, and the theme has been Maximizing Your Talents. And see you again. God bless you with a double S and tata.
Powerful.